The M1 Abrams is the very definition of mess around and find out. At prices soaring past $10 million per unit, this 73-ton hate-fueled beast is capable of delivering bye-bye pills up to 3,000 meters away. But before we get into the semantics of what makes this thing a perfect instrument of destruction, let's discuss how we got here. The Abrams took over for the US Army's aging M60 patent. Although a formidable death machine in its own right, the M60 found itself with some stiff competition against the more heavily armored and more powerful main guns of some not-so-friendly nations. So what did we do in return? We partnered with Germany to develop our new tank. No, seriously. We partnered with the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Germany, or Bundeswehr. Hold on a second.
Bundeswehr.
Yeah, that. Anyway, just like all good military projects should, this one went way over budget, and as a result, Germany pulled out, and US Congress was like, hey, you, stop it. So it was back to the drawing board. The project name changed a bunch, a contract was awarded, the tank broke down a lot, shocker I know, and the M1 Abrams was officially born. The M1 entered service in 1980 and is still in use to this day, although with many revisions. Too many to list, but the most significant came in the form of the M1A1, which introduced an MBC system for keeping our boys alive in chemically enhanced environments, the M1A2 with the addition of improved sighting systems, and the armor improvements of the SEP upgrades. SEP, or the System Enhancement Package, are the upgrades that the US military did to the existing M1A2 tanks. Some tanks rolled off the assembly line with SEP upgrades, but more than quite a few received these upgrades after the fact. There have been 3 SEP packages with a whole hell of a lot of upgrades to include the addition of the CROW system, improved interfaces, the addition of an APU, and most crucially and arguably the most significant upgrade of all, a new and improved air conditioner for the crew. Yeah, I'm sure that AC got plenty of use during all those NTC rotations. The current latest and greatest variant is the M1A2 SEP V3, which yet again has way too many upgrades to discuss here. But let's not get bogged down on all the semantics of upgrades, because at the end of the day, all those numbers and letters are only meant to do one thing: enable a tank to rain hate downrange. Now, if that don't get you fired up, then perhaps the main gun will. The M256 is a 120mm smoothbore gun capable of firing an array of different rounds, but by far and away the most common rounds are the Sabot and the Heat. The Sabot rounds, or more specifically in the case of the M1 Abrams, the armor-piercing, fin-stabilized, discarding Sabot, gotta love the military and their long freaking acronyms, is a depleted uranium round capable of turning enemy tanks into perforated tinfoil. And for targets that need a little explosive persuasion, the high explosive anti-tank or heat round is the tank crew's go-to. Now for targets that are, say, a little more juicy, the crew can utilize the M250 caliber heavy machine gun or the M240 7.62 medium machine gun. Now speaking of the crew, the M1 Abrams is manned by 4 heavily caffeinated 19 kilos to include a driver, loader, gunner, and commander. Together, these 4 men, and sometimes women, have to qualify virtually and on live fire ranges. And if they're super lucky, they'll get the honor,
the privilege, nay, the pleasure,
to experience operating an M1 in the Sands of Misery, that is the National Training Center in Fort Irwin, California. The National Training Center, or NTC, is where Armored Brigade combat teams go to train in over 1,000 square miles of desert. Training in an environment like this not only gets to exercise the tank crews, but also the logistical support elements needed to keep the tanks operational. Most notably are the tank maintainers and fuelers, because, not sure if you knew this or not, but tanks break down a lot, and they drink fuel a lot. Seriously, a tank can burn up to 17.3 gallons of fuel per hour at idle. Just sitting still for 1 hour, an M1 can burn more fuel than most cars on the road can hold. And if you think that's crazy, just wait until this beast starts moving. Every hour, a tank can burn up to 45 gallons on smooth roads or up to 57 gallons cross country. 57 gallons per hour. For all that fuel consumption, you better believe you're getting some speed in return. These bad boys are technically capable of reaching speeds up to 42 miles per hour with a theoretical maximum range of 265 miles. And that's assuming the tank actually even makes it to the fight. Any number of things can cause these beasts to get stuck or break down, which is where the M88A2 Hercules gets to flex its muscle. Be sure to check out the next video after this one, where we'll go into the hulking behemoth that is the Hercules next. But still, despite all this awesome firepower at the M1's disposal, no one was really sure how it would do in a real fight. That is until this little thing called Operation Desert Storm kicked off. The M1 proved to be highly capable and feared by Iraqi tank crews due to its devastating firepower and tough armor. Now, just how exactly did we figure out how tough this armor was? Well, during one of its missions, an Abrams was maneuvering and found itself stuck in the mud. Now, as if this wasn't bad enough, some Iraqi T-72 tanks were in the area and opened fire on the stuck Abrams. There were only two options left: either hunker down and wait for help, or fight their way out of the situation. Well, since Uncle Sam didn't raise no cowards, the M1 crew decided to live up to its motto of death before dismount and engage the Iraqi tanks. So what was the outcome of this terrible situation? The Abrams crew took out 3 Iraqi T-72 tanks alone. I say again, the tank was stuck, immovable. It couldn't move. Then it proceeded to take direct hits from T-72 tanks, returned fire, and took out 2 of them. Oh crap, did I say 2? My mistake, I almost forgot about the third one because it attempted to hide behind a sand berm and was shot through the berm and destroyed. And that's not even the most insane part. That poor Abrams was so stuck that it was decided that recovery was impossible and we had to destroy it in place to prevent the enemy from getting their hands on it. Their only option was to shoot it with other M1s. And it didn't work. The M1s failed to penetrate its armor with the first 2 rounds. It wasn't until the 3rd round finally made it through, which caused the stored ammunition inside to detonate and blow the tank from the inside. Now, after some time had passed, they were finally able to recover it. The Abrams was then examined and found to be operational with only the sights coming out of alignment. They repaired that tank back in division and returned it to action. Clearly, it goes without saying that the M1A2 is a beast. And if you like this 73-ton hate wagon, then you'll probably like the next vehicle that gets the Abrams out of trouble when 19 kilos are having too much fun in the training area. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or don't. It's a free country. CT6 out.